Hey, badass business owners. Listen, we all want to take our sales and convert them into profits. So today I want to talk about the number one calculation you need to know. I'm all about making business numbers made simple, and this is the only one that I require that you memorize. You want to memorize this calculation, but we're going to make it so simple, it's going to be crazy. So be prepared to memorize this. You ready? This is how simple it is. All right. We all start with sales, right? Here's our calculation. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. That's it. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. If you know this calculation, you can figure out so many things in your business. Let's take a couple examples here. So first off, let's just say you do $12,000 in sales. Your cost of goods and about $5,000. Your expenses, $3,000, means your profits are $4,000. Nice and simple, right? Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profit. Now let's take a look at a couple other examples when it comes to percentages, because everything is a percent to sales. If sales is every dollar you take in, these three big blocks on your profit and loss statement represent these same three categories. So let's just say your cost of goods run 40%, your expenses run 25%. That means that it is a 35% profits that you take. 100 minus 40 minus the 25 gives you the 35% in profits. You need to know these things. It's the same calculation whether you're figuring out dollars, you're figuring out percentages, all of these equal up. So if you take your profits, your cost of goods, and your expenses, you get your sales. So if you put profits first, it starts with the 35%. That's a different video, different time. But once again, just remember sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. A couple more examples. What if could you figure out your profits if you knew about a job that you were doing? Absolutely. Let's use our same calculation. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses minus profits. Let's say your sales are $500, your cost of goods run $200, and your expenses are about 20%. So we can actually figure out what that's going to run on this particular job. $500 times the 0.20, the 20%, tells us that our expenses are going to eat up about $100 of this sale. This is why it's important you know what your expenses typically run, because this is how you can figure out about what your true profit is going to be on any given job. Once again, sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals those profits. Let's plug everything in. $500 minus the $200 for cost of goods minus the $100 for expenses means this particular job has the potential to net $200 in profits. By the way, you can also look at it for the month. Same thing. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profit. Let's say your sales are $8,000. Your COGS typically run you about 45%. Remember earlier we looked at the percentages? You would just plug that in. So 45%, that means the $8,000 times the 0.45 for the 45% means your COGS are probably going to run you around $3,600. Your expenses typically run you 20%. That should not say $500. That should say $8,000. The percentage is 20%, and it comes out to 1,600. So just pretend that 500 is 8,000. You get what I mean. Okay. Once again, sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. $8,000 minus the 3,600 in COGS minus the $1,600 in expenses means that you could potentially have $2,800 in profits. So before you even do any kind of sale, if you know about what you're going to do in sales, you can figure out the potential profits that you're going to have for the month. And if you're saying, hey, well, I need to make $3,500 in profits, you can actually do this backwards. Once again, different video, different day, but you can see how they all work together. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. So what are we going to do? We're going to memorize this. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. I know I've said it a million times in this video alone. I do it on purpose. I want you to memorize this one simple calculation. It makes a huge difference, and really it creates a system where you have no more surprises at the end of the month. You won't be surprised that you thought you made all kinds of money that you didn't really make. When you do a job, you should know about what your profits are going to be based on that job because you use the simple calculation. All right, so no more surprises. Now it's your turn. I want you to go out and I want you to take some of your numbers and some of your jobs, and I want you to do some what if scenarios and see what comes out when you're using sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. And by the way, if you've learned something today and you want to learn even more about your business numbers, head on over to knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. We have a course there that's for you. It's really cheap. You'll make it back in just watching one video, to be honest with you. But my main goal is to help you dive in and understand your business numbers better. And if you like this video, hit subscribe below, and that way you can get any future videos in the future. And don't forget, I do have a podcast for free that's called the Badass Business Owner Podcast, and you can listen to it on your favorite podcast app. All right, with that, I'm going to get out of here, and you go out there and you be the best badass business owner that I know you are.